No, stop opening the theory. I have to look him in the eyes. Yeah. Yeah, I do, don't I? God.
Today's video is brought to you by ablmerch.com. You're able to get the hat I have on my head, plus a large selection of other hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more through the link in the description box below. How's
Per Roadcone's request, we're doing some ABL.
everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the incident that happened.
This guy's the prime black conservative TM next to JLP, of course.
Over in Martinez, California, which is about 25 miles from San Francisco in the Bay Area. Now, you may have already seen this particular video. If not, I'll go ahead and place that on the screen before you. What's happening here is that a woman and a man, not sure who they are to each other. They could be married. They could be just friends. I'm not sure what's going on, but
I think they are married. And if you actually watch the video, you can hear her say, "Not in my town." It's like, oh yeah, black lives don't matter in my town. Like, God, dude, imagine being these people. Imagine being this woman. That article on Twitter that called them a brave couple. Like, what? Brave? Yeah. The white supremacists, most likely, who come in and paint black paint over Black Lives Matter written on the fucking road in yellow, are brave. Not the protesters who put it there after all this rhetoric about violent retaliation by the state against protesters, and Trump and the cops going full-on fascist on this and sending in the National Guard and shit, like, and tear gassing people, and all these clips of cops shooting people with rubber bullets who weren't even protesters. It's like, clearly the protesters who originally put Black Lives Matter on the road are more brave than the people who are painting over it.
they're there, and the woman is painting over the Black Lives Matter temporary mural that a resident got a permit to paint on Independence Day, July 4th. They said,
It was legally painted over as well.
you know what? I don't like this. I'm going to paint over it with some black paint. They were only able to get the B and the L in Black Lives Matter painted over with the black paint. But I guess that was enough to charge them with a hate crime. That's right, a hate crime. I'll place the charges on the screen before you so you can see them. I'll also place a link in the box below so you can see the actual source I got it from for yourself. But the charges are vandalism, which makes sense because that's what that is. If a person got a permit to paint right there and they did it with the city's blessing with, you know, a lawful method, then if you come and destroy it as vandalism, that should be all of what's there. But you also see that they put violation of civil rights. Now, I'm trying to figure out who.
Yeah, I mean, it's a messy paint job she did too, yes. But God, dude. Isn't it kinda hate crimey to try to erase Black Lives Matter on the road? Like, if this happened, like it, let's say it just said Black Lives Matter somewhere on the street, not because like protesters got a permit to paint it, but because like oh, why did I just lose my fuck? But just because it was there. And then people come in and just paint over it, and it's just like government property or whatever. Isn't that kind of hate crimey? Doesn't that kind of look like a hate crime? It doesn't count as graffiti, though. they got a permit there, yeah. But I don't even want to talk about that legal issue because I don't even think that legal issue should exist. Like, graffiti is art. Like, I don't give a shit what graffiti is. I just, like, I care more about the fact that people would try to paint over a sign that said Black Lives Matter.
Whose civil rights got violated by painting over the B and the L and Black Lives Matter on the ground? Did the asphalt have its civil rights violated? Did the yellow paint have its civil rights violated?
Don't act dumb, ABL. You know that a road can't have its rights violated. ABL, you know that.
Who actually got their civil rights violated? Okay, I'm not really sure how we went from vandalism to violation of civil rights. Okay, they didn't put a burning cross on somebody's front lawn or something like that. All they did was...
You don't have to jump to the most extreme examples to prove that something isn't racist. That just exposes that your bar for racism is too high.
just paint over some paint that's on the ground. Okay, like I said,
it feels really weird to have to say that, things like that, in response to somebody who's black, but it's like, I feel like I have to, because people like this are making careers off of poisoning the well on minority issues and throwing the entire community and the movement towards minority liberation in the country under the bus. So, like, I taking it upon myself.
That makes sense. If it were me and I did something like that, I'd be like, all right, I'll eat the vandalism charge. If I got to pay whatever fine or community service, jail, if that's what I want to do, then that makes sense. But hate crime, I'm not really sure how we got here. But you know what? I think I do know how we got here. Like I said from the beginning, we're in Martinez, California, San Francisco Bay Area, 25 miles from San Francisco. Once you get to that part of the country, you're in the belly of the beast of liberalism. That's what's going on. All right. That's why a hate crime was
liberalism, caring about human rights, guys,
levied against these people. And that's why you don't see hate crimes levied against others that take down statues of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson.
Who would that be a hate crime against? Americans?
They even removed Frederick Douglass statue up there. I think it might have been up.
Yeah, this was kind of weird and stupid.
State New York or something. Why would you take down a statue of Frederick Douglass, a black man who was, actually enslaved, got his freedom, and was a vocal
fucking abolitionist
opponent of slavery? I'm not sure how that makes any sense at all. But then again,
me neither, honestly. I
do understand, because this is where we go. I called it years ago, really, and I've also called it this year. When you want to take down statues of Confederate generals, it won't just stop there. Okay, that's just the start.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't just Confederate generals who were symbols of racism and slavery.
Starting point to get people on their side. And when I say they, I'm talking about the rioters, the insurrectionists, the Marxists, people.
The Marxists
that want to change history, the America haters. That's just the starting step to get you on their side. Oh, it's the Confederate generals. Put them in a museum. Put them away. It's no big deal. All right. Now, why are you going to put them in a museum? Why are you going to, shove them away? Like, what's the actual reason? Is it because they fought in the war? No, not really. Because if it's about the war.
Fought in the war? It's because they fought a war to own slaves. I can't, do you really want a statue of a guy whose main cause that he died for was to own your ancestors as property? To be just up in the country. And I have, I don't get it.
Or then what was the war really about? Who had slaves, who didn't? Okay, slavery was the main thing. So if we're going to talk about slavery, who had slaves? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, was just a bad person in general who said things that we don't like. It's going to be MLK next. Oh, he was a misogynist. He cheated on his wife. All this and that. He was.
All historical figures have flaws. Maybe that means we shouldn't valorize any of them. Maybe. I don't.
Wasn't really a real revolutionary. It'll go on and on and on from there. And people that want to deface those statues, that want to tear them down, they want to do whatever they want to do, will face little to no punishment. That's why you got to have Trump deploy the federals out there to protect statues. All right. But when
What? He wants Trump to deploy the federals out there to protect statues of slave owners and shit? A statue doesn't symbolize and glean a country's history. A statue symbolizes a country's culture. Do we really want a culture of racism? Because I don't. I don't know if ABL does for some weird reason, but like...
you want to deface a temporary, not permanent, quote-unquote mural, just some yellow paint on the ground that says Black Lives Matter, when you want to deface two of the letters, almost like 1.5 letters with some black paint, oh, hate crime, jail, right away. Big rocks, little rocks, send them to Gitmo. That's what's going on, because it's not about the Confederates. It's not about slavery. It's not about anything other than that. It's about people that want to destroy this nation, that want to have their vision of what this nation should be out there as the norm, and whatever we...
Yeah, which is anti-racism.
as regular Americans think get pushed to the side, get pushed to the back and forgotten about.
What do you mean by regular Americans? He's appealing to a group of regular Americans who are racists, I guess, that doesn't exist.
This is what they do over the Middle East with the Islamic takeover. Okay, they come into a place, they rename it. Constantinople becomes Istanbul. They take down your statues, your monuments, burn your books, and now they have their vision of what they want a nation to be out there as the norm. Okay, this goes back to
God, dude. They'll go so far. They'll go to Constantinople turning into Istanbul. And compare the Black Lives Matter uprisings to that. It's like, Jesus Christ. This is not a revolution. This is a spontaneous wave of retaliatory opposition and uprising. Because the dam broke and people have had enough of the fact that America hasn't reconciled with its racist history and the foundation of its fucking country.
Iran in the 70s, the Islamic Revolution, before at a particular point in time, you could go out there with shorts and party on the beach and it was all good. It was like a small America. But then after the quote unquote Islamic Revolution, you got to put on the full beekeeper outfit and you got to put on, skinny jeans with some Timberland style boots. It's 115 degrees in the desert with no water. What are you going to do? That's what they have made the country into. What are you going to do? That is what the vision of these people that are trying to tear down statues is. Not necessarily
Sharia law.
the full beekeeper outfit, maybe in some parts of the country, but different story. Minneapolis. But anyway, that's not exactly what
Minneapolis. Oh, yeah. The Muslim paradise of Minneapolis. Yeah.
they want to do as far as Islamic way. They want to have it be their way. And rather than saying Allah Akbar or something like that as a battle cry, Black Lives Matter is a battle cry. And I...
Instead of Allahu Akbar, we say Black Lives Matter. black conservative compares Black Lives Matter to the Taliban. No, it literally is that. The conservatives have a playbook. They just go by the playbook. It's talking points. It's uncreative. They're all the same. Conservatives are all the same. It's the same. It's ideological dogmatism to a T. Everything is Islamic tyranny that's about to kill all of us. Exactly. BLM is ISIS. You heard it here first.
I gotta add one more thing here. I can almost guarantee you that the people that were behind putting Black Lives Matter on the ground were 99% not black. Okay.
Are you sure about that? Okay, this is a really unfortunate place to stop, or to stop him, but like, Black Lives Matter founders. Looks to me like 3 black women to me. That looks like 3 black women, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that, actually. Yep. Nigerian American. Yep. Looks like the people who were responsible for putting Black Lives Matter on the ground were actually black, 100% black.
How many black folks live up there in Martinez, California? How many black folks are in the Bay Area, period? Okay, it used to be a lot more, but not so much. I mean, 25 miles away in the city, San Francisco, which you got like a 3 to 4% black population. There's not even that many black folks up there. Whose civil rights are you violating? This is just bogus. I feel like this is a way to solidify anything that has Black Lives Matter on it as some kind of civil rights issue. And if you go against it, if you speak against it, that means that you're a bigot, you're a racist. And not only will we just say that.
Wait a second. If going against the statement and the ethos and the idea that Black Lives Matter is racist, or isn't racist, then I don't know what is racist. Like, the statement is literally Black Lives Matter. Going against that is probably racist.
That to you will put it in writing on the books. So if you come out and say, I don't support them, then you can get charged with a hate crime. I think that's the ultimate goal here. And they want to do all kind of crazy things up under the umbrella of Black Lives Matter. So as I close, I want to say this. Do you support this group? Do you support the saying?
You realize you can be part of Black Lives Matter or a Black Lives Matter activist and not be a fucking Marxist or anything, or a communist or an anarchist or socialist even. You don't... Liberals are in BLM. I don't... It's not inherently radical just because the left supports anti-racism and the right disseminates people like this to combat it. Is this guy against interracial relationships too, LOL? I don't know. Probably not. Personally. But...
Some people say, well, I don't support the organization, but I do support the saying. Do you really support the saying? Because the saying...
Do you support the saying? Wait, what is he going to say the problem with the statement that Black Lives Matter is? Is it just going to be the All Lives Matter thing?
Is much deeper than either supporting the group or just supporting the idea of Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter has become an umbrella term for destruction and chaos. Do you support that?
What? Black Lives Matter has become an umbrella term for destruction and chaos. That makes no sense. I don't even... Again, it doesn't mean I am an anarchist when you say Black Lives Matter. And that's like... Even though anarchism doesn't even mean chaos either.
I know that I don't, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that covering up part of a Black Lives Matter mural on the ground, just some yellow paint, should be considered a hate crime? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Should it be considered simple vandalism and that's it? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You pretty much know where I stand. If I'm the lady or the guy that's out there and I'm painting it over, I know that I am probably committing vandalism. If they had a permit to put it on the ground.
This is like when JLP said that black people were created for destruction. Yeah, exactly.
And the city gave it their blessing. That's vandalism. Okay, maybe I'll go to jail for...
It's almost like, it's like eerily almost the same exact message in a way.
a short period of time, if that, or I pay a fine or whatever. A funny thing to note here was that on the release that the city put out in Martinez, they said that there's no actual bail amount because of the virus. It shouldn't be, I should say, be any bail at all. It should be catch and release. And if you want to go to trial, show up for it, then go for it, because people are being set free in California because of the virus that have very serious charges against them, not just painting over letters on the ground. You're talking about guys that are in the penitentiary or prison for sex crimes, sex offenders. One guy, sex offender, got
What is he talking about right now?
released and immediately went back because he violated his probation by going to the office, probation or parole, whatever it was. He went to the office and showed the officer his thing, sorted around, like he was trying to go back, okay? Guys like that should not be let out, that are obviously sick and are not going to be cured. They're going to recidivize. Guys like that are being let out because of the virus. So if anybody gets arrested over a hate crime for putting black letters on the ground, but you letting sex offenders get out, guys that should not be out, guys that are a clear and present danger to everybody in society, then we got to just, really realize where people's actual mind is, where their goals are, what they're really concerned about. Are we concerned about trying to please people, trying to change history, more than we're concerned with people's safety in the country? That's what it appears like to me, not just in San Francisco Bay Area, but
They're letting people out of prison. It looks like they're trying to police people. Like, what?
Atlanta, Chicago, New York, Houston, Texas, out all over the country. I feel like we're putting people's feelings and political narratives and the election, quite frankly, above safety of a regular, average, everyday citizen. But whatever.
The safety of the regular average American citizen was already in jeopardy by the police. That was the point of the protesting.
Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment.
Obviously, with that issue being more intense along lines of race, of course.
Share and subscribe. Peace.
Yeah, I'm not subscribing to ABL. This is real bad. Real bad. Real bad shit. Can't really believe it.